So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start recording this. I want to first and foremost thank you ladies for popping on. I can't wait for you to meet Christi. She is so near and dear to me, so this will be really, really fun. Real quick, just as a housekeeping item, please update your numbers with the doc. Once you update them, obviously for the previous week and then the last 3 days of the month, so these 3 next days, I'm going to then basically go and hand out some great swag items. So make sure that you update them for your goals, not anybody else's, but where you're at, what you're working on, etc. Okay. But without further ado, let's jump right into Christi. And Christi, let me actually introduce you to my ladies. More will be popping on too. I hope I changed the time a little bit as well, so it may be a little off. But the beautiful thing is you are talking to some of my strongest 3 and 4 star diamonds. Like literally are absolutely incredible leaders. I've been working with them for quite some time. I adore every single one of them. So I'm so excited that you get to meet them because it wasn't too long ago that you were probably in their same spot. But Christi, as you know, I did promote this. So you are aware that she obviously is a 6-star diamond coach. She's a 2-time elite coach. What I love about though, Christi, is literally she works so incredibly hard. Like she worked until the last minute of last year, was 1 point behind and had to make it happen for her and her team towards their 2nd-time elite. And when I say that she's a worker and a fighter, obviously you're going to hear her story, so I can't wait for her to tell about that. Also, another little nugget is she is in the Live 4 test group. So when you're asking questions, if you have questions, you can also ask that. So super cool. So Christi, why don't you go ahead? Will you tell us a little bit about yourself and then kind of just jump in to our topic?
Absolutely. So I'm excited to talk to you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and having me. I wanted to first and foremost give you a little bit about my story so that those of you who can relate to me a little bit better, because I know when I came in, even when I was climbing in the ranks, still I'm climbing in the ranks, sometimes I felt like everyone had it all together. And so I want to let you know my background. So first and foremost, I used to be a software engineer for Cadence Design Systems. And I did the cubicle life every day and clocked in. And let me tell you, in that world, I saw so much waste of the company's money, waste of the people's time. I'd walk by cubicles where people playing video games. It was just, I remember knowing, like after graduating and getting my degree, saying there's going to be more. And I used to remember actually kind of memorizing this, like walking in the building and everything, because I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. But sure enough, not too long, like 2 years in, the whole world started to change a little bit and people started outsourcing. And so I saw all of my near and dear close colleagues and friends, husbands that had families and they were the sole income, getting laid off. I saw people crying every day. I saw like hope and despair. And I was just like, whoa, I couldn't even believe, that this could happen, like everything being ripped out from under. Unfortunately, I was the one who wrote the install for the product. So I was the very last one to be let go, and it actually was an accident. They were filling out all the paperwork and I got mine, and I signed that puppy so fast and they reneged, and I said, only if you want to triple my salary. So I got a huge severance package and decided to go to work for myself. And I opened a company. I had just gotten a little chihuahua and I'd gone to the vet, and the vet had said, hey, you're going to have to get a coat for her. I lived in Oregon, by the way, I didn't live here. And it was cold. And she said, there's like a cup of blood in their body. They're going to get hypothermia. Cool. So I went to go look for a coat for my 2-pound chihuahua, and they were over $100. Like at that point in my life, I was like, I wouldn't spend $100 on a coat for myself. So I just decided to sew one. And I made one for her, and everyone was commenting on it. Oh, you should put that on eBay. So I did. And I put it on eBay, and like it sold. This little thing that I literally paid like $1.50 for fabric sold for like $56. And so I just decided to start sewing them, and used my career, my business career that I had and knowledge, and I decided to outsource. So within the first year, I became a millionaire. I did. I made my first million, all from dog clothes. So I like to say that point that I did have business experience coming into this, although way different business experience. In that entrepreneurial mindset that I had, that $1 million was super expensive. I was working 18 to 20 hours a day. I had employees that then I had to constantly watch because they were then relaxing and wasting my time and money. I was doing all the shipping and handling and customer service. I spent 10 years of my life doing that. I raised my kids. We had what appeared to be the American dream, huge 6,500 square foot house, all the cars, all that. And I was so miserable. I was unhappy. I was overweight. I was stressed out. And I just super miserable and unhappy. So I decided to sell my company and basically taking a huge major cut, because even though I got some money from my company, the monthly money wasn't coming in, but I was okay with that. My kids had just been raised, and I started writing. So I became a food writer on my blog, blogged every single day. I just decided I was going to blog every day for 5 years, and then a publisher reached out to me. So since then, I've published 3 books. I am an author, and the problem with that is I got offered all these jobs. I was actually the food critic for San Diego, so I got to go to restaurants every night. And again, what seemed to be the perfect life, but I got sick. You can only have so many cocktails, desserts, food, and I got cancer, 3 types of cancer. So it was a huge eye opener, and I had to really take a step back. And I also, part of my background is I'm a freak of nature. That really fast talker at the end of a commercial that tells you what the side effects are for drugs. I'm usually every single one of them. So when I got cancer, my doctor literally said swear words, and she's like, what are we going to do? Because wasn't a candidate for chemo or radiation. Really can't even take Advil. And I mean, everything's holistic with me. So we started working with it. Well, I'd always worked with an Eastern doctor, but my Western doctor then teamed up with my Eastern doctor. Thank God I was here in San Diego and they're open to that. And I started basically making Shakeology from scratch. I was importing herbs and extracts and powders and everything you could talk. And I had this nasty green goo I had to drink every day to try to help me stay alive, basically keep alkaline, fight my cancer naturally. Cancer can't live in an alkaline state, but it's extremely, extremely hard to stay in an alkaline state. So I was doing that, and at my 6 week, I did have surgery. That was the only Western thing that had to happen, and ended up a week in rehab from the medicine they had to give me to put me under. But at my 6 week post-op, my doctor was dancing like, you have NED, which is no evidence of disease for those that haven't had illness. And I just busted out crying. I was like, I just don't know how I can do this. Like, I was gonna, but I was like fighting for my life, but at the same time, it was like, the hope was not there. I was like, how am I supposed to do this every day? Not only did it take forever to try to put this thing together, but it was just miserable. And she, bless her heart, hugged me and said, it's out there. And she wrote down Shakeology. So that is my background of how I found Shakeology. And of course, I knew somebody who sold it because of the annoying Beachbody coaches out there that are constantly posting. So I reached out to that person and I said, look, I don't want anything to do with your business, but I have to have the product, and I've done my research. I'm going to sign up as a discount coach, but don't ever talk to me about the business. I mean it. Like, I was a total bitch. And so she's like, fine. I signed up, and I got, because I immediately was getting 2 bags. And then she went away camping for 2 weeks or something and came back, and I was a diamond coach. Now, the reason is because my family started drinking it. They started, and I was like, get your own. I was like a cat, get away from my shakes, because I had been having that nastiness. And so I just looked in the files, add to the team page. Always add your discount coach to your team page, because there was files in there and it said what to do. And so I just became Emerald. And then I was a writer and I had an audience, so I shared. I think I just had one picture of me saying, oh my gosh, I found my solution. Anyway, so boom, that's the reason why I went diamond so fast. It wasn't like I went and started hustling and asking everybody. I just already had, they say if you were a giver already, that's how fast you're going to grow. And so I had been like adding value and giving every day on my blog for so long. And so that's my background story. I actually thought, just real quick, I would show you guys. Can I screen it? Yeah, I can. I'll show you my before and after real quick, just so you can see, if you guys can see that. So on the left was me, the day I started, and this is me now. So I just wanted you guys to see that I have been there. And that's really important to me, because I think the biggest problem is so many people don't fall in love with the product, and they don't have their own story, and they just immediately start to try to sell. So my background just in this business is always sharing what works for me. And I'm truly, truly trying to find that person that I can help. Because this is life-changing for me. Like, it doesn't matter if tomorrow they said, you know what, the coaching network gone, that'll never happen. But if for some reason they did, I'd still be buying the shakes, because I need this to stay where, cancer-free. I am now 4 years cancer-free and healthy, happy, down 65 pounds, and I have a thriving business. So Brittany wanted me to share with you guys what my day was like, what I do to fix limiting beliefs and all that stuff. So I'm going to dive in and share with you what I do, and then at the end I'll just answer any questions you guys have. So I start my day every morning. I actually am a millionaire morning person. What it used to be called Miracle Morning, and then Mel Robbins came in and added a few more things. So I do that, and I'm not perfect. There are days that it doesn't happen. Weekends can be tough for me, but I get up, and my alarm goes off, and I go do some meditation and prayer. For those that haven't done meditation or don't have a clue where to start, I recommend Insight Timer. It's free, and you can type in any subject. I've been focusing on abundance, so I just type in abundance, and I'll do different meditations on that. It times it for you. It tells you who meditated with you, and it doesn't cost anything. So I definitely recommend for people who want to get started. I set my intention on what I want to do that day. I, also have prayer, for my teammates or my family or whatever. I end with that, and then I journal. And the journaling is the hardest part for me, because I actually, as much as I'm a writer, I'm a typer. I hate handwriting. But everybody I look up to, everybody who's successful does it. So I started doing that. And then right after that, I chug my Energize and I get my workout on. So I found for me, if I don't do it first thing in the day, it gets harder and harder by the hour. And it also, I'm just a nasty person if I don't work out. I mean, it's the sad truth. So as much as I can promise you, that I don't like working out, I also love the result of working out. So no matter what, it's a non-negotiable for me. After I get done working out, I feel fresh, my mind is clear, and I dive right into my power hour. And my power hour is segmented. So if I'm reaching out to people for 15 minutes, I'm reaching out to people and nothing else happens. I don't care if someone's calling me, or if someone has an emergency, or if someone's shouting at me. For 15 minutes, I'm doing this. At the end of my 15 minutes, I can pause my power hour and get to the rest of the things if I need to. And then I'll go to 15 minutes of responding, and only responding. I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I'm only responding to the people I probably was talking to the previous day, maybe the night before, whatever. And then, I'll switch to recognizing. I'll get into the recognizing later, but basically the whole power hour I do in 15-minute segments, and then I pause and pursue life. And that is something also that is something that I have to teach new coaches to do, because I think they think that I'm working all the time. And the fact that this job is just sprinkled into my life. I mean, I might pull out my phone and record something and post it just because it's my life, but I was doing that anyway, and I would do that anyway. And so I don't count those as working hours. I mean, if I go to the yoga studio and snap a picture, that's what I would have done anyway. If I'm out to lunch with a good friend and we snap a picture, that's what I would have done anyway. However, I will share, I'm so thankful for the freedom this job gives me. I'm so thankful for this opportunity that I don't have to be stuck in a cubicle. I'll just breadcrumb like that. And then after I pursue life, my family comes home, we do dinner, blah, blah, blah. And then I do my follow-up power hour. So probably like most of you at this rank, it can't just be done in 1 hour. I mean, I personally can't. But I did find that when I was constantly answering during the day, it was just too much time and it was wasted time. And so now I come in after dinner, and everyone knows for an hour, it's the same thing. I do the focused 15-minute segments and follow up. So honestly, that sounds super easy, and it really is, but I think you guys all know too, we lose drive from time to time, like, how do I do it every day? And so I have a huge vision, a huge why, and I can tell you that if it's just a paycheck or just retiring your husband or something, it probably won't be big enough. That's just for me personally. It's kind of how I started out, but then I really, really, really dug deep in what I really, really wanted. Like if I died tomorrow, what kind of legacy would I want to leave? And I personally want to create a retreat for recovering cancer patients. When you are recovering from cancer, you're in the darkest place. That's all I can say. It's like, I understand there's a fork in the road there, like huge. And there's a reason why it's like an 85% reoccurrence, because if you just go back to the same life, you're going to get it again, period. Negativity, toxic people, food, like lack of activity, like everything that I had in my life. I can honestly say I'm barely friends with anyone I was friends with before. I have like my lifelong bestie who is also, she's lost almost 200 pounds now with me in this. I have certain people, but it is truly like when you change, sometimes you're not the person they want. That negative person, they want the person that's going to go pound beer or do all these things. And let me tell you, I still enjoy great cocktails. I still enjoy a time to go have fun, but not every day. And I have bigger vision. So that retreat that I want to make is going to take a lot of money, but I want to make it because the 6 weeks of recovering time, I firmly believe is going to make or break whether someone gets cancer again. And I want them to come to a place where there's healthy food, there's movement, I want them to explore what they love. Do they like pottery? Do they like gardening? Do they like yoga? Do they like paddleboarding? What do they like? And just fill that 6 weeks of time with that. And I don't want it to cost anything. And hold up, most people are like, well, that's impossible. I believe in bartering. I believe in using your gifts. So when somebody comes and stays for 6 weeks and takes, then they're going to give back for 6 weeks. What do they love? Do they love to cook? Do they love to garden? What do they love? And they're going to give back. So that is what my vision is. And because in my mind, I'm holding in my head all these cancer patients I just put myself back into that space and I want to help them. Like, I just want to help them. And I know so many people will just scoff at a shake and be like, that can't help me. But a retreat can. And I can also get to them and get them, we've all done programs, right? And when we've done it for 30 days, all of a sudden it's a habit. I kind of want to do that with people who are recovering, who maybe possibly have never heard about positive mindset or meditation or yoga or the fact that they're here for a purpose, and that fire inside of them is why they're here. And that's too many of us are just going through life like ants. And I can preach all day about this, but I won't. So basically, I fine tune personal development around my struggles. Also, in the Power Hour, personal development, a lot of times people just hop on the bandwagon or whatever coach is recommending. But like right now, fully, I'm struggling getting my leaders to be leaders. And so I'm diving into personal development is going to help me with that. If there's times that I'm struggling just getting the right mindset, I will definitely, pick a book on that. Honestly, if anyone is looking for a book to get their butt on fire as far as why to pursue business or entrepreneurial, I always recommend Be Obsessed or Be Average. Yes, Grant Cardone is a salesperson, but this book isn't about that. It's about why you need to be obsessed about pursuing your passion. A couple other ones I love, obviously, Get Over Your Damn Self and Girl Wash Your Face. But, the thing is you've got to tailor your personal development for what your struggle is. And so if you're in the middle of a book and you're just really struggling, maybe put that book to the side and look for a book that is directly targeted to what you're struggling in. Maybe it's just being consistent. Maybe it's like me, trying to get your leaders to realize they're leaders. There's so many ups and downs and struggles, and I'm sure I have to pick up and put down books all the time. And sometimes there's books that you just pick up over and over and over again, and that boba is what it's called. Be Obsessed or Be Average is the one I pick up over and over again whenever I feel like, am I going to be able to do it again? Like, each month. I don't know if all you guys are like that, but it's the first, but I just wanted to make sure to put that in there. Like, that's going to do huge for you. And then also use our products to elevate yourself. So I remember I was at leadership my first year, and Amy Silverman got up and was saying, because she got scoffed at or whatever because she was in so many test groups. And of course it's easy for her because she's in a test group. And she was like, hold up. I wasn't in a test group when I started to make it. What I did is I looked at the product and decided I'm going to do it like I'm in a test group, and I'm going to elevate myself and do it just like the test group. And that honestly shifted the business for me. When I started to really dive in and do it that way, then I got asked to be in a test group twice. This is my second time. Now, when you show up and do it like that, people are gonna say, hey, she can be in a test group because she shows up. But also, your customers are gonna trust that you're gonna be there. The people who go on and off and on and off, I'm sure you guys have people like that on your team. It's just, they're struggling because people are like, well, I don't know if you're gonna be there to coach me, and I need somebody who's gonna coach me. So yeah, I totally have used the products to elevate myself. I use the products to speak to the people I'm trying to help. Our Power Greens does wonders for alkalinity in your blood. Like, the Power Greens are huge, and that is a game changer for me. I used to have to take 2 shakes a day, and now I only have to take 1 because I use Power Greens. So I talk about these things and find a way to use them in my life and share them in a way that can help other people. And then I've been pretty good at recruiting this past year, every year, and people ask me sometimes how I do it, and I use recognition. That's how I recruit. And a lot of people, I think, struggle with the recognition part of the vitals because they think they have to like pull from their tribe or someone on their team to recognize, or even a challenger of your own. And I do that too, but people only want to hear so much about your challengers, and so I actually recognize directly. So when I'm looking for friends, like this business for me, I'm shopping for friends. You guys know you're stuck with people in this business and you want to like them. So I, shop for friends. And when somebody says something, we're too much in this tap and scroll mentality. Tell them. That is so awesome. That made my day. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Or what you said there really hit home and I really needed to hear that today. That's how I start my conversations. And it's genuine because honestly, at that moment in time, I'm not thinking about, oh, maybe they're going to be my next coach. But I use recognition to connect. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted. And I think all of y'all can probably relate that when you do a post and someone says something really nice, it's like, oh, like it's not an ulterior motive. It's super nice and uplifting. And so I just do that. That's been actually the backbone of everything I do. Who needs to be recognized today? Who could use some love today? And I just try to do that. And then when I post about a job opportunity, I'll get, what is that? And not always. I have plenty of cricket posts too, just like most people. I have some that work and some that is like, I posted one yesterday of my, it was 4 years ago yesterday, and I had all these supplements on my counter because I literally bought every supplement because I was trying to stay alkaline. And I was like, I can't believe this was 4 years ago. Who knew that just one thing would have changed my whole life? And I just got all these people. What is it? What is it? What is it? And so, you just never know when that one post is going to hit. But if you're giving recognition and connecting with people, they're going to ask you. And then I just rinse and repeat. That's what I do. I just rinse and repeat and do that every day. And it is important to take days off. So I will take, at least 2 days a week off where I'm not reaching out to people because I am actually, they call it an ambivert. I'm very introverted. Stuff like this was hard for me. Brittany can attest, like I wasn't on calls for the longest time and speaking to people really terrified me, but I'm growing up and getting over it and a lot of personal development. So, yeah, that's basically it. I just, questions. What was it called? Insight Timer. It's an app in the Play Store or Apple Store. I'm a Droid girl. So what other questions do you guys have? I told you I was a fast talker, Brittany.
No, it's so great. And what's funny, when you and I first met, Christy, what rank were you? Do you remember that?
I like we just met. I think I was 1 star.
Okay, so we met on a plane to Summit. Wasn't it to Summit?
Yeah.
And so she sat next to me. I'm like, hey, who are you? We started talking, and all of a sudden, like, she just grew and obviously overcame so much. But one thing I've noticed, and I want you to unmute yourself and ask her questions, but let me ask you this actually real quick before that. What did you do because you pushed so hard to make your team a 2-time elite team, but what did you do at the very end to really rally your team, the vision? Because, if you saw the elite video, she's the one who got it and started jumping up and down in the kitchen and started crying. Like, that is Christy. So I just want to ask you, like, how did you get your team to really drive that behind with you?
I was working with them all along, and I mean, I still am, but I told them what needed to happen. And I basically, when it gets to that close and I'd had my 2 diamonds, everything was done, but then like in November, December, everyone just wasn't hitting Success Club. And I messaged each and every one of these people, and I'm like, I'm just letting you know, if all of you don't hit it, we aren't going to hit elite. That was what I was waiting for that year. Each year it's something different. When I fall short in one year, then the next year I'm great at it, and then we're short in another area. But I basically talked to the people and let them know, like, are you in this with me? Let's do this. What can I do to help? Who can I talk to? Always making myself available to, look, if you don't have the words, I can have the words. Let's do a 3-way call. Never making them feel like they had to get in line to talk to me, like being available. I think my biggest mistake ever in this business was that I made elite my first year, got it onto the round table, and some people were telling what business hours they had, and they were showing images. I'm like, okay, I better set business hours. That didn't work for me. So it may work for other people. And when I say I have my power in the morning, my power at night, I still have messages going on for my team. They're your colleagues and they're your coworkers, and they need help and they need guidance. I don't do, and I know this does work for some people, but I don't do the whole you have to hit Success Club before I talk to you thing. I'm there for them all the time, because not everyone flies fast. Not everyone, sometimes it takes months and months and months. I have somebody, Penny, who was a discount coach for 2 years, and now she's hitting huge numbers. She never had Success Club numbers before, never believed it. And so you never know who it's going to be. So for me, it was just all about listening to what they needed from me and being available for it. So every single one of them needed something different.
And Penny is her coach. Any of you, Portland? Washington. Portland. She's lost 200 pounds with Beachbody. So she's absolutely incredible. Love that so much. Okay, so this is the time, ladies, for you to unmute and just ask Christi. I mean, what is it that you want to ask her? She doesn't bite, I promise.
I'll ask.
Please.
I'm just wondering, how do you track? How do you track everything? And then what book do you recommend to your new coaches or coaches that just go Emerald? You Passion Planner?
Yes. Passion. Oh, hey. So I can go kind of to the beginning of the year. I do it weekly. Let me go and kind of show you guys a little bit so that you can see how I do it. Okay. So each week on my planner, I have a row of who my new coaches are, who my new customers are. Now, I carry those over for usually the first 4 weeks or whatever, because I'm checking in with them, and I'm making sure I'm checking in with them several times right in the beginning to make sure they know I'm available to them. And then you see, I have little check marks. So that week, if I've spoken to them, they get a check mark. And usually after that, I don't track. If I've talked to them that week, usually we're in a thread already and I'm not worried. But then the next week, flip over to the next week. Here it is again. Here it is again. So that's one way I track. I have a big Excel spreadsheet on Google Sheets that I track for recruiting. So if I've reached out to somebody, all I do is put their name in there, because 2 years from now, I'm not going to remember if I've reached out to them. So I just personally don't want to reach out to someone again with the same opportunity. I'll follow up with them. If they're already in my messenger, I have a whole nother system for following up. So I have a Google Sheet for that. So if I'm looking at someone and I think, wow, she's awesome, I first go to my Google Sheet, type in her name, and make sure she's not in there yet. If she's not in there yet, she now is. So that's one part of my tracking, and I will message her. So my DM is actually another filing system for me. And I go to the bottom at the beginning of the week, and I work my way up. And I have, after I've talked to somebody a certain number of times, I'll put them on my no-go list. Meaning if they haven't said no, but if they haven't responded to me for so much time, I don't stop following them or anything, but I don't reach out to them anymore. So I will remove them from my DM so that they're not basically I want to empty my funnel every week. So I fill my funnel with new names, and then I go through and follow up, and I'll follow up with people 6 or 7 times. And then if they stop talking to me, usually I'll end it with a, hey, I'm just looking for people who are looking for me. If you ever are, I'm here. Nothing but love to you, that kind of thing. And I'm still following them. I'm just not going to be messaging them or bugging them because I really don't want to chase anybody. I really only am looking for people who are looking for me. But at the same time, a lot of people act interested for a long period of time and then they never do anything. And my time is valuable. So I don't want to spend it chasing people,
Fully agree. And what book do you recommend to your new coaches or like new Emerald coaches?
So now it's Get Over Your Damn Self. For the longest time, it was like Girl Boss or no, it was, what was that one? I can't even remember now. But I think Get Over Your Damn Self is a fantastic book. It gets right to the point, and it is what we do. So that is going to be, unless someone comes to me damaged with divorce or like so many other things, I'll listen to them and what their struggles are. But if someone says, I'm ready to coach, Get Over Your Damn Self there's nothing else like it, I don't think.
Love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say too on that Audible, on the book that I like, I'm an Audible person. Like I'm huge on Audible. So if you do the Be Obsessed or Be Average, get the Audible because Grant reads it. And I think he adds like 20 chapters just in freelance talking. Because I actually got the book and I was like, this isn't the same, it just isn't the same because he's so passionate and he just really lights a fire.
But I feel like you said it perfectly when you said it talks about the why behind it. Yes, he's quirky. Yes, he says he'll never take his wife out to dinner without it being a business. And I literally giggled out loud. I was like, okay, first of all, I would not be married to you, boy.
Right.
Like, that would not work out for me. But I love the whole vision and the why behind it. Like you're getting to the why. So I love that you brought that up because it isn't for everybody. But if you explain it that way, it definitely can be.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, Christy, on average, what is your SC number per month?
Well, this year was like in the 20s, but this month I'm at 8 right now, so I got a lot of work to do. I went on vacation. But I try 20s. I really try for 20 to be my minimum. I wanted my numbers to increase. That's been a learning curve for me. I used to really mainly be recruiting. I just used to do recruit, and now I'm trying to get more to 50-50, which I am, but it is a learning curve, which I love. It helps me not be bored because I am somebody who I want to perfect things, and I know I'll never get perfect, but I definitely am having fun trying.
For sure. Okay, what other questions spark up? Steph, Heather, Carly. Questions do you have?
Is most of what you do on Facebook or Instagram, or do you have a mix?
99% Instagram.
Okay.
Keep going though. I want you to elaborate on this, but keep going with what you were going to say.
Okay. I actually have a like page from when I was an author, that has like 15,000 whatever, and it just wasn't getting traction for the longest time. But then with To Be Mindset, because that goes along more with my food writing than anything else. I think exercise wasn't really what my audience was, but I have a ton of gluten. My daughter was celiac, so I had a ton of gluten intolerant people. And so I just started using the To Be Mindset. And I have a lot of people in the funnel right now, and I'm really trying to figure this out because they're so cold. Like on Instagram, you get to know your people, and on Facebook, I'm like, who are you? And I don't even know how to talk to you. And so I'm learning Facebook, but Instagram is my jam.
Will you elaborate though? Because I remember I don't remember what I interviewed you on as far as Instagram goes, but you talked specifically how you cross promote. I mean, you are a big yogi. I mean, that is one thing, a huge yogi, but can you give us a couple great tips about Instagram? How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So cross marketing is 100% my jam. So yes, I'm a huge yogi, but when I started, I wasn't. Part of my recovery for cancer, they prescribed yoga, and I fell in love and became a yoga. I went to teacher 200-hour training and became a teacher. I teach mainly online, and I did do a book tour around the U.S. teaching, but I don't teach in studios anymore. But there's so many small businesses trying to get their name out there in and nobody watches commercials anymore. There is a huge, huge, huge need for influencers. And so I have a very big following, over 17,000. I don't know. It goes up and down depending on what they're doing. But so I basically say, hey, my team and I are doing a yoga challenge or a fitness challenge or a healthy eating challenge or whatever challenge. You know, would you like to sponsor? And I've never bought a single pair of workout clothes ever, except for from the core. I have over 100 pairs of yoga pants, and I'm constantly recycling them. The companies send us the gear. We take pictures, we tag them, they repost us, hence the following builds. So, and it also gets you trust. When other people see you being posted on businesses, they automatically think you're like, you know, some celebrity, when I'm anything but, you know, I'm just like them. And I teach my team how to do the same thing. There are people who do it with small following. A lot of times they want you to have at least 10,000 followers combined. So like if you have 5 and another teammate has 5, you can do a challenge together, or, you know, that kind of thing. But, that really I was doing that before I was doing Beachbody. So I just was like, that's where I always say, do what you do and sprinkle Beachbody into it, because I was already doing that. And I'm like, well, this should be easy to find a team that wants to do this with me. So I stopped working with anyone unless they were with my team. So when I constantly still get people reaching out, hey, you want to do a challenge with me? And I'm like, that's so awesome. I'm booked up with my team. Have you ever considered joining us? I mean, it's just a lead. Some do, some don't. But yeah.
That was exactly what I wanted you to, I'm not sure where we talked about that before, but I'm like, that was exactly it. So
yeah.
Steph says, obviously she would love to learn how to do this. Steph, do you have any questions for Christi?
So yeah, I mean, I've never done anything like that. So who do you reach out to? I don't even know what steps to take.
So first and foremost, make sure that you post some pictures on your page that you're going to be, or that you have some pictures to give them as an example. Where I'm at now in my career, like I can just list off brands and they can go to the site and see me. But back in the day, I had some yoga pictures, and with my letter, I basically do it the same way you would recruit anybody. You're just reaching out to a business. Hey, I've got this. I love your stuff. I always like to go with like-minded, you know, earth-friendly, eco, all this stuff that resonates with me. And I would love to promote you. Your gear goes right in line with the challenge. You know, usually I try to pair it up. And, you know, would you like to sponsor us? And if they say yes, I'm like, awesome. We have 2 or 3 hosts, however many hosts you're going to do. These are the address and what we ask. We don't ask for you to pay us to sponsor, but we do ask for you to send one item for us to model during the challenge, and you will send that same item to one winner at the end of the challenge. So basically you just verbalize it like that, and it's the same as recruiting. You send out 10 letters, you'll get one yes. Like now I don't have to now I kind of have a list of people. I can basically have a waiting list of people who want to work with me now. After a while, that's what'll happen, because they'll know. And you can have them give you a promotion code, like, hey, if you want to run a promotion during this, it's 25% off for all the challengers, and they get a code. That helps. Basically, you're trying to help them, and they help you. It's a give and take. So be prepared to. And I don't do any competitors. Like I don't do any supplement companies. You will, once you start doing this, you're going to get a lot of supplement companies asking, because that's what we do, and they catch on. But I do anything that isn't a conflict. So like active wear. I mean, yeah, we do have active wear, but not anything near, you know, yoga pants and workout pants are totally different in my opinion. So, but you know, just finding companies you want to work with, and you can start. I always recommend starting small. Don't go to Lululemon and ask. They don't know who you are, and they have people asking all the time. Go to a new business that maybe has less than 1,000 likes on Instagram, that needs help. It's the same thing. Hey, I can help you, and you can help me.
I know. Yeah, go on.
Is it possible for you to like send us that script that you just, or what you say to them?
I don't even have it. I have one anymore. Yeah, I mean, I can write something up. Sure. Why not?
That'd be awesome, because
yeah,
that sounds amazing, but I'm just not, I have no idea what to say.
Yeah, I totally get it. I can give that to you, Brittany, and you can get it to them. Awesome. Yeah, but just honestly, remember that everything is kind of like perception, right? Someone can seem so popular and so out of reach and so out of touch, but they're really just us, sitting there, and everyone, I know for me, some of my old friends will be like, I know you're just so busy. I'm like, I'm really not. I really don't do that much. I really have a lot of free time. It may look like I'm busy, but I'm not. And so it's the same thing with companies or with people that you're reaching out to. Meditation is going to help huge if you just set your intention on who can I help today, whether it be a business or a customer.
Okay, let's wrap this up, since I know you have a call that you need to get to as well. But any last parting words for these 3 and 4 star diamonds that are working really hard to accomplish a big goal by the end of the year, that, they're in that spot where they haven't hit 5-star diamond yet, they haven't hit elite yet. But any advice, anything to really, get them excited, get them ready for Summit and the end of the year and what they're pushing towards?
Okay, first and foremost, hit Success Club before you go to Summit. You have to. Don't make the same mistake I did. And secondly, it's never too late. Everyone needs to push until the last minute. You don't know what can happen that last minute. And so push, and definitely reach out to your key players. But then I know that sometimes where you're at, you can be like, well, I don't have another one and I need another one, or I don't know who my diamonds are going to be this year. Start asking for them. Start asking for the people who want more. Instead of it being, please, will you join my team? Or, it just needs to be like, hey, I'm looking for somebody who's ready to earn 6 figures, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take time, and it's not going to happen overnight. Probably won't even happen your first year, but we'll get there together if you're really ready to run with me. And that's a shift that I've been making, just trying to ask for workers and the people who want to show up, and as you know, a lot will leave, but the right ones will stay, and focus on the right ones. Don't worry about the ones who leave aren't your tribe.
Ooh, that was good. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for popping on. I really appreciate you. Christy, you're incredible, amazing. I can't believe when I met you that first time you were 1-star. Like that, it seems like that was only 3 years ago. And 3 years ago on our way to Summit to Nashville, right? Was it Nashville?
My husband was my star. I think I'd recruited 15 coaches that month. Like it was like, boom, I was in. And then the hard work came of trying to get other people that weren't my family.
Totally. Well, we really appreciate your time and all your insight. Thank you for everything. Thank you, ladies, for popping on. And then, of course, I'll just get that script from Christy. But I appreciate all of you. So thank you again, Christy. You're amazing. Bye, all.